Welcome back to Crazy Brave Homeschool. My name is Ashley and I'm a homeschool mom to a second grader and a TKer. And this is our third year homeschooling. In this video, we are going to talk all about the homeschool resources that I just couldn't homeschool without. One of my most popular videos was all of the homeschool resources that I really didn't need to buy. And so I thought that I would make another video that was all about the resources that I really couldn't teach without. Some of these are just going to be like not necessarily must-haves, but things that make homeschooling more enjoyable or easier for me. And then some of the things will be maybe a little bit more academic that like we just couldn't get by without. You will also probably see some materials that you're like, yeah, you and everybody else uses these things, but there's a reason because they maybe are that good. So consider them for sure. But I'm hoping some of the things I'm going to show you, you haven't seen before. I don't even know how many things it is, but I'm going to guess 20. So I'm going to say these are my 20 top must-haves for homeschooling. All right, let's get started. The first one is probably the most popular that is talked about on YouTube. I am going to start off with the School Nest Homeschool Planner. And I don't necessarily mean you couldn't homeschool without a School Nest planner. I just mean don't try homeschooling without a planner. If you do, that's incredible. But I just like rely on this thing to do what we do and to get things done. So find yourself a really, really good planner that you just really look forward to spending a lot of time with. Okay. All right. We got the School Nest out of the way. I think what I'll start with are like maybe some of the more like academic must-haves that have really come in useful for us. So the first thing I think I'll go with is not just a dry erase board, you guys, but a lined dry erase board. I use this every day. I use this for my kiddos' copy work so that I can write nice and big what their copy work sentence is for the day. And then I display it on what I'll show you is my another must-have, so that they can, be able to see it well and do their copy work. The other side of this is blank, so we use it for that too. And I have other whiteboards that are just blank, but this is the one that gets used the most. I couldn't homeschool every day without this one. So everything that you see, guys, I will try my best to link. If there's anything I missed and you need a link, let me know. All right, another academic thing that I don't think we could do without, and this is sort of a recent one, actually. We just started this one a couple months ago, is a dry erase map. World map if you want, US map, whatever part of the world that you are trying to get your kiddos to memorize. I came up with this after our Beautiful Feet US Geography was just like really not working for our homeschool. And I just really wanted the kids to learn their states and to just learn that part of geography this year. And this has been the easiest way to do it. They each have one of these. I give them a dry erase marker. I quiz them. Where is Minnesota? Where's California? Where's Oregon? And every week they'll probably learn like 2 new states. And I use the flashcards here. You don't even necessarily need flashcards. You can just teach them where these states are. But the flashcards are kind of fun. Plus there's a lot of information on here if you wanted to give them a little bit more information about the states. We've just been concentrating on the state and the abbreviation for the state. And the flashcards have come in nicely for that. But yeah, we do this with our morning basket. We've been doing this for 2 months and my kids have memorized like 15 states, which is great. I'm really proud of them. Yeah, and kids are really great at memorizing. So it's kind of fun. This has honestly been one of the more fun things that they look forward to, which is funny. It's just like so simple, right? All right, another one is a field guide. So if you are a Charlotte Mason inspired homeschool, or if you are doing nature study in your homeschool, a field guide is a total must-have. After, trying out nature study with our homeschool the last couple of years, what I have found is easiest for us in just like the most doable, realistic way, is using a field guide and then painting a picture every week. This year we are studying birds, and so every week we will choose what bird we want to learn a little bit more about, like birds of prey or swallows or ducks, and the kids will choose one of the birds on the page, and then we have to guess at the end which one they painted. I also have these bird cards from Riverbend Press, and we use those for our painting every week too. And that's essentially how we're doing nature study this year in our homeschool. It's really simple. It just requires watercolors and a field guide and some sketchbooks, and the kids have been loving it. Okay, so next one up is an abacus. And I know this one might be a little boring too, but honestly, we could not do our math without an abacus. I know that some curricula use these, some parts of the world rely on these more than others. I know like manipulatives are really popular, and there's so many different kinds. But oftentimes I found that they are loose manipulatives, and what I love the most about the abacus is that it is just one thing. Like, we could literally do probably 75% of our math with an abacus in the early parts when you're really learning those addition and subtraction skills. But skip counting, I mean, there are so many ways to use this, and like obviously our curriculum guides us in how to use it. But with or without the curriculum, this has been my daughter's favorite way to learn math. And it's an all-in-one, you know, it's not a bunch of loose manipulatives that you've got to keep track of. So just the abacus for sure. My son now is using it. He's only 5, and it's taught him so much already. They think it's fun. And I like this one because it is very small and light. I know they have these like big, beautiful, colorful abacusi. But honestly, these make a lot more sense with the way that they are colored, and the fact that it's so handheld. The big, beautiful ones look really nice in homeschool, and we had one, but it wouldn't have really worked for learning the kind of math that I needed them to learn. Okay, so on that note, I'm actually going to show this because I'm pretty sure that you can purchase this without actually buying the curriculum. The math card games book from RightStart, I think, could work for any homeschool family using any math curriculum. This is just chock full of math card games. What you really need are the cards that go with this. I'm going to share a link. I'm certain that RightStart sells this with the cards as a separate purchase from their curriculum. But this is such a fun way to learn so many math concepts. My kids look forward to the games. If there's not a game paired with the lesson, they get pretty bummed out. The card games do extend the math lessons for sure, but they love it. And then sometimes if like I'm just not feeling the math lesson or we need to skip a day, I have this to fall back on, and we'll just learn some card games. Like my son, who's 5, he is in level A, but they don't start talking about clocks until way later in the program, and they like kind of barely skim the surface. He really wants to know how to read a clock. And so I just set down the curriculum and I said, okay, cool. I'm just going to get out the math card games book, and we are playing all of the clock games out of this. And that's how he's learning to tell time. So we don't even need to wait till we get to that part of the curriculum. I can just whip this out and we can play some games. So this has just been like the gem of our math experience homeschooling so far. So I really, really recommend getting this book. All right. I'll hit a couple of notebooks that we love. So these like brown on the outside, bare white on the inside. These I got in a pack of, I think, 12 off of Amazon. These have been really great little narration notebooks for us. I also love using these as literature, like character journals. We follow a lot of literature guides, and it's really nice having a notebook to accompany them, just for, you know, notebooking essentially. So we're using this one for our history and like our American Girl history little pages go in here. And these have just been great. Been using these a lot the last couple years. On that same note, we love the bear books from bearbooks.com. These are hardcover blank books that there's no lines in here, so they're just white. These have been great for my daughter, who is still learning to write, but she loves telling stories, and so she does it through pictures. So she has filled so many of these with her picture stories, and then if she wants, I will go in and write down her story for her so that she feels like she wrote her own book. And she's filled up probably like, I don't know, 6 or 8 of these. And yeah, these have just been awesome. Bearbooks.com, I'll definitely link these. I think you can get these in a set of like 3 or 4 books. All right, and then this is probably my favorite Phonics resource, and I'm not even going to go into it, you guys, because I have shared these so many times. These are these jumbo flashcards from Alphaphonics that are wonderful because they're big and because they have the phonics rules and the exceptions to the rule on the back. Alphabet letters or vowel teams. It is also more complicated. Phonics, phonogram. And then they also have a handful of cards like these. You're getting the full range of all of your sounds, all of your phonograms. So we love these. These are my favorite flashcards that we have ever used. And then this might be the last like academic thing that we use all the time that I couldn't homeschool without. This is something that a lot of people have. It's one of these timers that shows the color when shows how much time is left. We use this every day with our, not with every lesson, but with our reading lessons. So our phonics lessons are probably the one that my daughter maybe dreads the most. And so it's really nice having a timer so that she can see how much time she has left. And sometimes she tries to like get as much work done as she can within the time frame, which is also great. It's like a motivator to do more work maybe. But this timer has been great. So now let's get into maybe some of the stuff that's not so necessary, but I have really enjoyed using or the kids have really liked. I will show here, it's a little dusty. This is our magnifying glass. This is a cool one I got off Amazon that has a stand like this. So it just sits on our little science shelf. And it the coolest thing about it is that it has a light. So the light changes colors, and I don't know so much what the colors are for, but it has 4 different color settings, and the kids have really liked this. They've used this more than they've used our digital microscope. I'm not sure why they like this more. I think probably because of the light, but this has been really great. So really happy that we got like a, I don't know, a cooler, fancier kind of microscope. All right. All right, guys, stick around to the end because I think the last thing I'm going to show you is the thing that we probably use the most. That might not be the most necessary, but it's definitely the most necessary for our homeschool. Okay, so another fun thing I'll show you. This is a newish thing that I got for our homeschool room. I have a large bookcase, and we have really been collecting books this year. Too many, I think. And I needed a way to start organizing them so that I knew which category was what. And so I got these little like library bookstands off of Amazon. I think I got a pack of like 20 of them. And then I got a pack of these, what would you call these? Like these label, I don't know, organizers, library organizers, where it's like long so that you can tuck it into the bookshelf. And then this part sticks out. I'll probably show a photo or something here if I can. So I have these labeled for all of our subjects like earth science, animal science, world history, US geography, you know, Poppy 3rd grade books, Woody kindergarten books, so that all of that stuff is just organized. And it looks cool. I just think it's necessary for a very busy bookshelf. So I'm going to show you guys the wooden resources that I actually use. In a video that I shot before that was all about the homeschool resources that I really didn't need to buy, I had a slew of wooden materials that kind of break the bank and you don't use them enough to really make up for how expensive they were. These are some wooden resources that definitely did not break the bank and that I use a lot. So one of them being a flower press. These definitely get used more so in the summer months and spring, but these are really fun. I think they came with a pack of 2 on Amazon. And these are just really fun for the kids. I know that you can use a flower press as like, use heavy books to press your flowers, and that works too. But these are just very sweet and did not cost much. They do only press, you know, maybe 1 or 2 flowers at a time. So they're not big, but they do have big flower presses like this as well. I would say for one of the unnecessary purchases, this was definitely a favorite that we've used a lot of. Another wooden resource that I love are these dish rack organizers. I got these on Amazon. I think they come in a pack of 2. I have gotten probably like 4 packs of 2. I love using these, especially when I am setting up maybe a new unit and I have books that I've paired with that unit. I put this on the table and then I can stack the books in here, and it's just a really nice way to display the books for that unit. I also use this on the bookcase to maybe make some parts of the bookcase look a little bit nicer and more organized. How else do I use this? I use it to store like dry erase boards. Yeah, just for anything that is slender that maybe needs a little bit of help looking nicer on your shelf. These come in really handy. So love these. Okay, another wooden resource we love is this life cycle board. I don't totally remember where I got this, but I think a lot of this stuff probably came from Amazon. This is something we don't use all the time, but I love it. I love using it, like when we need it. I love having it when we need it. And I think I actually got with this a lot of life cycle figurines. I might have come with like a ladybug life cycle and a butterfly and a turtle, a plant. So it's really cute. It's a really fun thing to set out, again, like for a unit when you're studying life science, when you're doing nature study. This is just a really great visual for young kiddos that want to touch stuff. All right, my most used wooden resource is by far my what would you call it? Like a cookbook stand. This is off Amazon. I think it might have been $30, so this is maybe a touch more expensive, but I use it every day. I mean, I wanted to buy this last year, but I was like, I don't think we need that. That's a little, that's maybe a little frivolous. No, I use this all the time. I love this thing. I love that you can open up a book and hold the pages open. I can finally use my Julia Rothman books. Keep the pages open with these. It's great for displaying artist study. It's great for just displaying whatever read alouds you are doing. It's great for displaying all sorts of stuff, but especially large reference books that you like. Our science, when we do our science, I always display our textbook or reference book on this so that the kids can look at all the pictures. All right, love that. Oh, this is kind of another wooden resource, actually. Okay, have you guys seen these tacks, these little wooden tacks? I think I got these at Target. These are already half gone. I use these all the time, like to display things on the bulletin board, to hang up our Van Gogh art that we're studying, to hang up just kids' artwork and stuff. You don't like the look maybe of a plastic tack. These are so cute. They really just like add a little bit of a, you know, a facelift in the aesthetic. And they were well worth maybe the extra $1 or $2 that I spent that I wouldn't have spent with plastic tacks. So these are great. Love those. All right. Another thing that is just great for aesthetics are little baskets. You can get baskets for so cheap at like the dollar spot, dollar store, wherever. And again, like for units, if you like to set up units like I do, little baskets are nice. Sometimes units, you know, you might have like a little hands-on activity. You know, you might have some manipulatives for math, things like that. Baskets do a lot to really just elevate a homeschool room. And, you know, maybe it's not for the kids, but it's definitely for the mamas. So I appreciate me lots of baskets. Oh, and I'm not even done with the wooden resources yet. Another wooden resource that I love are peg dolls. So we discovered peg dolls with the Blossom and Root curriculum last year. We did level 1, and they recommended with their narration exercises to make peg dolls of the characters that you read about and reenact the scene. So maybe have a story basket with some little props. My kids loved that last year, and I'm really excited to be getting back to it next year for 3rd grade and kindergarten because we are continuing with Blossom and Root. But my kids made tons of peg dolls last year. This was Rapunzel. I think my daughter drew the face and maybe did the hair, but this is Ronia from Ronia and the Robber's Daughter. This is my daughter's Cinderella. Oh, I think this is Elsa from Frozen. Anyway, they're really fun, and the kids really love decorating them. We are going to be also continuing peg dolls with Shakespeare next year and making peg dolls to help my kids retell the stories from Shakespeare. Okay, so I think I only have one more thing to share, and it's definitely the thing that gets the most use in our homeschool, and it's kind of something that I came up with, although I am certain that I'm not the first to think of it, but that is a fidget basket. I'm sure there are so many families out there that are like, oh yeah, we have one of those. This I try to change out. I probably haven't changed this out in a while, but I try to change it out every, couple months. I bring out the fidget basket when, we're doing read alouds, definitely. That's probably the main time I do it. Or I bring it out for my son when I'm working on lessons with my daughter. I would say, are they super excited about it now that we've been doing it for 2 years? Not really. But do they use it when I bring it out? They do. They really do. It's really helpful when I'm doing read alouds. So you can put squishies in here. You got your poppets. I have a foldable fan, a Rubik's Cube. I've even got a little mini puzzle in here. That's a good thing to have in there. I've got this magic sparkly wand. Anyway, yeah, fidget basket has definitely been a godsend for those read alouds. Okay, you guys, that's it. What did you think about my top 20-ish must-haves for homeschool? I would love to know what you can't teach without, or if you use a lot of the same stuff. Anyway, let me know, and have a great rest of your week. Bye.